Hello again and welcome back to our YouTube channel. I'm BalorFan85. This is the guy that needs no YouTube net handle. This is Kevin.
That's me.
And we're coming back again. We're going to I just had a brain fart. I'll just roll with it. We're going to discuss our logo belts. Anytime you see these big, for a while there, everybody thought ungodly shapes, size, whatever. Everybody hated them. I personally have fallen in love with them, especially the replica belts. So without further ado, we've got 3 belts in the logo format. And by logo format, I mean just like these new belts nowadays, your women's titles, UK, your World Heavyweight Championship, and your Universal title. So without further ado, do you have a problem with these specific belts now?
I did. I honestly did. I did not like them. When The Rock first debuted, the very first scratch logo, when he did away with the spinner belt. Granted, I wasn't, the spinner belt isn't my favorite. It's by far not my least favorite. I do like it. But when he got rid of that and I saw the scratch logo, the first thing I thought was, somebody sat in a corporate office, they took out a sheet of paper, they wrote the WWE logo, drew a half square with a triangle at the end of it, and that was our championship. I will say since that one, where it just said champion really big at the bottom, they've cleaned it up a lot. And since they made that change, it's kind of grown on me. My personal favorite was the one AJ had with a black swoosh underneath it. We don't see that one anymore, but that was my favorite. But getting back to the question, they have grown on me. I don't think I'll ever like a world championship as much as I like the undisputed one, just because of the lineage and the history that's attached to it. But with that said, these have grown on me to the point where I have both of them and a few others that we're going to show you.
And if you're like me, what really made you like these belts is getting that replica.
Yes.
The Universal title especially. When that Universal title, even though Finn won it for the first time, when you first saw that Universal title, it was horrible. I think I can speak for everybody.
I thought it was edible and made out of licorice.
Yeah. But when you get that replica and you look at it in your hands, it was by far one of the most beautiful belts I've ever seen.
Yes.
And that really made me like it. And the fact that we've been, 2 years now with it, and it's working. I can't see if they do away with it now and go to something else, I think it'll be too soon. But we had a spinner belt for, 10 years?
Yeah.
So I've really, really fallen in love with it. Now, I've also really, really fallen in love with the first belt that we're going to show. It is probably the most detailed belt you can get. It's probably one of the best replicas you can get. Doesn't care if it's full price or not. If you get a chance to get this title, buy it.
See, I paid full price for mine. I think you won yours in a raffle for $16.
I won it in a raffle. Shout out to TNT Belt Trading, Tony Tussey. Love you, dude.
He got his UK title. Oh, spoiler alert. He got his UK title for less than you can feed 3 people for at McDonald's.
Yeah. Cue the Sarah McLachlan music in the background.
Without further ado, we're going to go and show you my UK title.
Only because I felt it was easier. We both have this title.
My UK title.
So here is the WWE UK Championship.
Some of the things we really like about this title. We'll get to the obvious one in just a second. But one of the things that I really like is something that catches your eye immediately. You have the pronounced logo right here. It's not just stamped on here somewhere. It's actually bolted to the front of it, adding an extra layer. So you have your actual faceplate here with your logo right there sticking up further because it's not just stamped on there. Now, when you go into this title, one thing I really wish they would have done is just under here put UK. But they made up for it by putting United Kingdom up here. And I honestly think I like this a lot better. It being in the banner and champion right here. It's not just stamped on. These letters are engraved into the belt. So they're not going to rub off. The paint's not going to chip. They're actually engraved into the belt. Another thing I really like about this belt is your custom side plates. Now, I know those are The Rock's plates, and The Rock has never held this title. But he's The Rock, and he can do what he wants. Moving on. You have detail in the side plates, the actual side plates, not the removable ones. But even though it's just a little bit, it's got the two-tone colors, and it's very elegant in the way it moves. It flows very well with the belt, in my opinion. Getting to the thing that I love the most about this belt. This is the most detailed title that WWE has ever made, ever in the history of ever, in my opinion. You have so much going on in just this little space. There was a million ways to mess it up and only one way to get it right. And in my opinion, they definitely got it right.
When you think UK, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
When you think UK, United Kingdom, especially here in the South in the US, you think regal, you think posh, you think higher class. You cannot get any higher than this front plate right here. Just the detail, the regalness. This looks like something from medieval times as far as you have your banner, you have your plate right here, you have the lion, you have the steed, you have the crown. This is one of the most regal belts. To me, it's better than the old European Championship. People can hate all they want. This is the definition of a UK championship.
When I see this front plate, it honestly makes me think of two knights getting ready to joust, and you see these symbols on their flags, and they're just ready to go to war. And based on the matches we've seen for this UK title, most recently we had Ricochet and Pete Dunne, going back to Tyler Bates and Pete Dunne. That is a war. That is what this belt represents, and I hate the fact that we don't see it anymore. We're starting to get to where we see it more often, which I love. But another thing that I was going to say about this belt, and I just had a brain fart and completely forgot what it was. Oh, I said that it was the most detailed belt WWE ever made. I've made that statement before, and the only backlash I've got, oh, well, Kevin, what about the big gold title? Well, you're right. The big gold title is a very detailed belt. However, where did we get the big gold title from? It's not a WWE belt. It was the WCW World Heavyweight Championship before it was ever the WWE Heavyweight Championship. So as far as championships that the WWE made from the ground up on their own, this is the one, to me, in my opinion, has the most detailed, is beautiful from front to back, end to end. You got the big gold buckle here. You got your gold snaps. You got them over here. The side plates have just a touch of elegancy with the swooshes and the two-tone, your customizable side plates, and then you just have the gorgeous front plate.
If you were to start a collection off with any replica and you had the money to spend, you want to get this replica first. And I know you don't see the UK Championship that much, but if you want something that is going to turn heads as soon as your friends walk in that door, that's the belt to get.
And you know, he's not wrong, but I would honestly say this is going to be the last one you would want to put in your collection. And I honestly believe he'll agree with me when I say this. If you get other belts, or if you get this belt first, and then you get another belt, it's not going to be as good. You're not going to feel as good. It's not going to wow you as much. So you're really going to spoil. You're having your dessert before you have your dinner. You need to have your dinner first. You need to have the belts that aren't going to be this good before you go ahead and just have this one, because once you have the top of the line, there's really nowhere to go from there. You're just filling in blank spaces. So go ahead and I'm not telling you what to do. Start your collection however you want. Personally, I'm glad that this was not my first belt.
Fair enough. Now, we mentioned the fact that we were showing off logo belts. The reason this is a logo belt, for those of you that don't know by now, all of your logo belts now have this design. They have this main plate, these side plates. Now the difference again with this belt, the side plates are a little bit different on this one. It's more regal. You have your swooshes, you have your red, you have your black. You don't have a big logo right here.
By the way, WWE, if by some random act of God you actually see this, thank you for not just putting a big UK right here.
Or putting a big W right here and then UK champion right here.
Yeah.
That would have been way worse.
You guys definitely hit the nail on the head with this one.
Especially with the new NXT Women's UK belt. I cannot wait. I hope that replica comes out. I will definitely buy it because it's an amazing piece. The difference, it's not the WWE right here. It's a vertical NXT. So I'd recommend checking that out. Hopefully they'll get a side plate, or they'll get a replica belt of that eventually.
And if you've seen our video on the women's titles, the NXT UK women's title is on that mother of pearl white strap, and it just makes it pop. It really does. There's no colored background. It's not a big yellow background for NXT. It's still, it really is just almost exactly like this with a few minor changes, but that white strap really just makes it pop. I'm a big fan of gold and black. It's what I grew up on. When I started seeing like the Universal title and the Cruiserweight title and the women's titles on different color straps, I didn't know how I felt about it, but that women's UK title, I mean, there's just something about it, man.
It's amazing. Now, we just did what Kevin here said you would do if you got this title first. We had our dessert before we finished the meal.
We did.
So, again, this is one of the best belts, not taking away from the other belts that we're fixing to show, but as far as your logo championships, as far as this design goes, this takes the cake.
I just really want you to see all the detail in that main plate. I could literally hammer this all day long. I can talk about a different part in this title, and this video would go all day. But to save us from badgering you and to save us from just rambling, we'll go and move on to the next title. But like I said, get it first if you love it. Get it last if you really want to have that firework ending, because this is really cream of the crop, guys. It really is.
Now, this is also, I don't know if you'd call this a mid-card title. It should have more prominence than what it does, for sure, because it is such a glorious belt. But if we're moving up, what's the next belt that we would move up to? And I got a feeling we're fixing to see it.
We definitely are. I always hate that you have titles. You have your main titles, and you have titles that surpass that in aesthetic appealing, and they're not worth as much because this is a brand championship, and even though that technically is, it really would be considered a mid-card. Mm-hmm. But if we're moving up a step, I would have to go with our current WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and I do have the AJ side plates because, well, he's AJ, okay? He's AJ.
He won.
Moving along with this belt, the strap is the first thing I want to show you. If you've seen our big gold video, you've seen how stiff those straps were. This one really isn't like that. This is the deluxe version. It's one step under. No, it's not the deluxe. The deluxe was like $2,000, and I wasn't paying that. But anyway, the strap is real quality strap. It's not as loose and as free-flowing as the actual title, but really the only time you're going to get that is if you re-leather your title. But the strap is really good. It's got really good quality. The snaps are held on very sturdily. You have the WWE logo imprinted on the strap. And then you move over here to the side plates. Now, what I like about the UK title that's not on here is you have just this little bit of elegancy with the swoosh and the continued design. Here it's just a bunch of rhinestones. And it works, but I feel like it took away from it by just putting rhinestones, as to where they kind of went the extra mile with that. Even though it's such a small detail, it really makes it work. But then moving on to the rest of the belt, like I said, with the big scratch logo, the logo wasn't even this big. It was half of it. And then under here you had champion written really big. I like how they cleaned it up from the scratch logo. It looks a lot neater. It looks a lot more professional. It looks like something a champion would carry. And then under here, they took off the nameplate, gave you the side plates, and just put really neat, crisp, clean letters, World Heavyweight Champion. And that's a really big plus for me. I feel like if it was the old belt, I wouldn't have gotten it. I honestly wouldn't. And like I said, with brand championships, when you look at that title, you don't want to wonder, oh, I wonder what he's the champion of, or I wonder what that championship is for. When you look at the United States title, there's a flag on the back. You know it's the United States title. When you look at the UK title, it makes you feel like you're in the United Kingdom. You know it's the UK title. You clearly can tell this is the WWE title. Anything to add?
No, when you look at these belts, when you look at these replicas, these championships, there's not much of a difference. Now, the difference in the UK and this is your side plates, is your main plate. But most of these belts, your women's titles, your universal disc, they all relatively look the same. You're getting the same strap on all of them, maybe a different color, but you're getting the same strap. You're getting the same flexibility / stiffness of the strap. You're getting mainly the same designs. The texturing is all relatively the same on each strap. Now, the biggest difference is mainly the color of the strap, or in regards to the backing of it. Like in the women's titles, you got the blue for the SmackDown and the red for the women's. This one, you've got a black strap. It's pretty basic, but at the same time, the black and gold works. I didn't like this belt when it first came out, but it grew on me. I mean, like you said, this is a brand championship.
When they cleaned it up, it grew on me. The scratch logo still hasn't grown on me.
I should have brought the scratch logo, to be honest, but that was my second belt I ever got, was a scratch logo. Basically, you had a scratch WWE right here, and from here all the way. It was just big champion in red rhinestones.
And if you don't know what we mean by scratch logo, it literally looks like they took the marker or the pencil and they just scratched it in there.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't have these clean points at the end. It was the actual WWE logo that you saw in the WWF era without the two marks making the F. It was just scratched in there. This is a lot neater, a lot cleaner, looks more professional in my opinion. And this belt really didn't grow on me until they cleaned it up.
Now, WWE Shop, when they first came out, or WWE Shop, back in the day when you bought replicas, you had 3 or 4 different versions. You had an adult replica, you had a deluxe replica, an ultra deluxe, and then the master series. And each one for the first 3 levels went up about $100. Then you got to the master series, and you're looking at paying about $1,000, maybe a little bit more. WWE Shop is now going back to that, to where you have, this is a standard replica. The next level up is your deluxe replica, which is about $750. Now the difference supposedly is the strap. It's supposed to be leather strap, but again, it's probably just a little bit more flexible than this. There is still inside each of these straps is cardboard and foam, and it's placed over with a piece of simulated leather. It's a big sandwich in the middle. The deluxe versions are supposed to be more leather. Now I don't remember what they call it. I think they call it Pro Series now.
Ultra Deluxe.
Yeah, Ultra Deluxe Pro Series is about $2,000. Now the difference is there's supposed to be Cubit Zirconia plates, I think. Cubit Zirconia or Swarovski. I can't remember which one. And it's supposed to be a real leather strap.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't even do my homework on the Ultra Deluxe because as much as I love these belts, I couldn't see myself paying $2,000 for it. What you're going to pay for one belt?
Yeah, when you can take this belt, you can take it to a restone service and get it restoned for probably less than $400. You can take it and get re-leathered for about $350, maybe $400, maybe less. And then you have as close to accurate as you can get for right at $1,000, maybe $1,100, $1,200. About $800 less than what Shop's going with a far superior product in your hands.
If you're like me, you naturally don't trust people with your stuff, and you're not going to do that anyway. But definitely, there's no need to pay $2,000 unless you just really want that as close as you can get without having to send it off to somebody else, or if you know how to do it yourself. But this belt works just fine,
and it's going to turn heads.
It will.
It's going to turn heads. So this is the SmackDown WWE World Heavyweight Championship. All right. Apparently, we had a technical difficulty right as we were putting up the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Camera stopped. I guess we got some bugs in the system we got to work out, but it couldn't have stopped at a better time because we don't have to go back and redo everything. We can go back to what we were talking about. The WWE World Heavyweight Championship, when you first saw it, I didn't really have, to be honest, an opinion on it either way, but it grew on me.
It looked really small when it first came out. It almost looked toyish, and it didn't look, like I said, it didn't look as neat. Now, we're going to the next title, and this will be the last title on this video. When it first debuted it, wasn't a real big fan of it. I actually kind of hated it, and I feel like the reason that is because I'll go and admit I'm one of those guys that looks on Facebook and tries to find spoiler alerts, and there were so many cool designs and thought processes and fan belts on what this belt should have looked like, and the one I was really hoping for, and it wasn't that, and I was kind of holding it to a standard that wasn't even set yet. But after time went on and the quality matches that it produced kind of grew on me to the point where I had to have it. And I'm really glad that I have it now. So without further ado, we'll go and show you the third and final belt of this video, which is going to be the WWE Universal title. Immediately what draws me to this title is obviously the red strap. It's been a while. Actually, I don't think WWE's ever had a red strap.
No, and now they've got 2.
Yeah, now they have 2. So this one, after time went on, I do like the red strap. I feel like if they would have debuted this with a scratch logo, I would have absolutely hated it, even more than I already did. I like how it's nice, neat, and clean. I like the fact that it's on the active roster again. We'll be able to see it more, because honestly, if I didn't have this belt, I would have forgot what it looked like. But going into the belt review itself, once again, the strap isn't as thick and it's not as stiff as we're traditionally used to seeing. Right now I have the Seth Rollins side plates on it. I don't think anybody can fault me for that. I think Seth Rollins is operating at a level that we've never seen before, and I really hope it continues, and I hope that one day he does get to hold this title. A lot of similarities with the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. It's still going to have your curved plate. It's still going to have your 4mm pronounced plates, a nice thick strap. Once again, the side plates, just a bunch of rhinestones. Unless you put a custom side plate on it, it's just a bunch of rhinestones. It's where we showed you the UK title, and it had the accents on it, and it was really nice. Now, the strap is really nice. The side plates are nice for the belt. They could be better, but I'll go ahead and get off that. Really just a nice, clean belt. You know what it's for. You know it's a championship belt. It has the size. It has the appeal. It has the turn your head factor is what I like to call it. When you see somebody with this belt, even if you never watched wrestling and it was your first time seeing it and you saw one of your friends with this belt, you would turn your head and be like, I wonder what that is. And you would want to know about it. And that's what a championship is supposed to do, in my opinion. It's supposed to grab your attention. It's supposed to make you want to ask questions and learn about it and see what it's all about. And I do think that this one does do that.
Now, the matches have been good with this title. We were in a rut where we didn't see this title very often for a while. What got me to like this belt wasn't the matches, wasn't anything. It was as soon as the replica came available, I bought it. And I kind of worried myself. I was like, am I going to like it when I get it? Am I not? What's going to? And I opened the bag and I took the wrapping off, and it was one of the most beautiful belts I'd ever seen in person. Now, one thing I do like about this, a lot of these belts, they're kind of shallow as far as etching and texturing go. If you look inside here, it's not very deep, but you can see the nugget texturing is there. In some of your, especially in the scratch logo, it's pretty flat. This accentuates it. You can definitely see all the texture in there, and it highlights it really good. The black swoosh is a great addition to a red strap.
I'm really glad that they did not go with red on that.
A great addition. And as far as these logo belts, this design, this may be my new favorite. It is by far, and I could be partial because I'm a Balor fan.
I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but I would say it is up there. I don't think you can ever get any better than the classic Winged Eagle belt.
Well, I'm talking about as far as these designs.
Oh, okay. Then yes, you're right. Mm-hmm. I would agree.
This may be, because again, you don't see a red strap very often. I mean, they went white. I do miss the old Winged Eagle back in the day where they had a purple strap and then a white strap and then a yellow and the old IC. But this is good for what it is. It's got the red strap, and now apparently red's working because now we see a version of a red strap on the new NXT North American title, and it works just as good. So red. Is
that belt not absolutely beautiful?
Oh, it's amazing. And as soon as it comes out,
oh yeah,
I'm second mortgaging my home, and I'm going to buy at least 5 of them.
Absolutely.
Just because it's so good. But if you're looking just at this type of belt, the same design, the logo, and everything, the UK title first and foremost is the best out of the bunch. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is going to be a second, just because to me the red strap, to me everything works in this belt.
See, I would have to agree, but in the same sense, when it first came out, I would not even put this in my top 3. But after it grew on me, I like the rarities. I like the changes. And because we're so used to our black straps, I feel like with this and with the Cruiserweight being a purple strap, adds something to it that you're not going to get anywhere else. And it really does work for it. Not going to get too strung off on the Cruiserweight title because there's a gripe I have with it, but we'll save that for another day. When that one actually gets here, I've already ordered it. We'll do a review on that, and it'll be in there. Trust me, it'll be in there.
But these are our logo, or these are your logo belts. I have all 3 of the same. Now, I have a different one when it comes to the World Heavyweight title. There is a variation that you can get. I don't know where you can find it now, but Toys R Us used to have the Jack Specific.
You can still order them online.
Yeah, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and I've got that because at the time, I had enough of these. I wanted to try something new. I spent $100 instead of $429, and to me, I got a great product.
Honestly, until you touch them, you're not going to know the difference. If I set them on the counter and you're 10 feet away, you're not going to be able to tell me which is which. It's a really great thing to add in your collection. It's a really great thing for a birthday present. If you have a teenager who's into WWE and you don't want to spend that $400, that commemorative title really does hit the nail on the head as far as comparison-wise. and you're not going to have to break the bank to do it.
No, so I would recommend, I'll always recommend getting adult replicas because to me, you cannot beat this quality. And, this could be the cheapest thing ever made. We don't know it. All I know is that when I get this, when I open it up and I see this, I feel like a champion. And that's what you want when you get replica belts. You want to feel like a champion. You want to turn heads. In the event that you want to wear it out in the public, you'll catch a bunch of different eyes. But if that's what you want, then do it.
My biggest thing with this belt, and any belt, whenever you get a replica title and you're sitting there and you're checking your tracking number and today's the day it's coming. Oh my God, it's the worst way ever
of your life.
But you finally see that tracking number where it says it'll be delivered by the end of the day, and then UPS or FedEx or whoever it is that brings it shows up at your door, and you pop that box open and you undo the belt strap and you see this belt for the first time. In my opinion, you should automatically go back to the favorite match that you saw this belt with. And for me, when I opened up my Undisputed Championship, I instantly saw Eddie Guerrero frog splashing Brock Lesnar in the main event of WrestleMania, coming down, winning the title, and then hugging Chris Benoit at the end. For this one, there was no more awe moment than when we saw Finn Balor at the end of SummerSlam.
Well, he dislocated his shoulder,
raising the title for the first time. Now, until somebody else wins this belt, that'll be it for me.
I'm sorry about that.
It's a little glorious moment.
It is glorious. And when we talk about Finn Balor and glorious comes up, I mean, it just happens. But this is our review on these logo championships. I think I'm about done talking about them. You got anything else you want to say about them?
I mean, if you're in the market for them, it's definitely a good way to go. Take your pick on if you want to get the UK first or last, or if at all. But that UK title, I cannot talk enough about it. Other than that, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Let us know which one was your favorite. Let us know which one you want to see next. And if we have it, we'll go ahead and do it for you.
Yeah, no problem. We love doing this.
Other than that, I'm good. Are you good?
I'm good.
We'll see y'all next time.
All right, take it easy, guys.